let's discuss the global petrochemical markets. The global chemical industry entered 2025 expecting recovery. Instead, it entered a historic rebalancing cycle across nearly every major value chain: polyethylene, polypropylene, methanol, phenol, PVC, acetic acid, PET, and dozens of downstream products. The same pattern emerged. Global capacity expanded faster than demand. Trade flows were disrupted, margins collapsed, and producers increasingly shifted their focus from growth to survival. Chapter 1. The Supply Surge. The industry's biggest challenge is no longer demand, it's supply. And by supply, I mean oversupply. Since 2020, one country, China, has accounted for roughly 75% of global petrochemical capacity additions. Propylene capacity in China has doubled from roughly 36 million tons per year to 72 million tons and is projected to reach 87 million tons by 2028. China's PVC capacity has now expanded to approximately 32 million tons annually. In either scenario, roughly half the world's capacity. New capacity continues to enter the market across polyethylene, polypropylene, methanol, phenol, acetic acid, PET, and other commodity chains. In polyethylene alone, 35 new plants are expected to start up during 2026. With more than 60% of that new capacity located in China, global PE capacity is expected to increase by approximately 6% in a single year. The result is simple: the world can produce significantly more chemicals than it currently consumes. Chapter 2. Demand is not growing fast enough. Global demand continues to grow, but at a much slower pace than expected when many of these investments were approved. Construction remains weak across Europe and North America. Automotive production continues to face affordability issues, changing EV adoption patterns, and cautious consumer sentiment. Manufacturers are delaying investment decisions while navigating inflation, interest rates, and geopolitical uncertainty. As a result, many of the industries that consume large volumes of chemicals are expanding only modestly or not at all. Buyers have responded by maintaining low inventories and purchasing only what is immediately required. Across global chemical markets, hand-to-mouth purchasing has become standard practice in an unreliable market. Chapter 3. China's subsidization has created a new global reality. Historically, China was the world's largest source of chemical demand growth. Increasingly, it is becoming the world's largest source of chemical exports, with projects supported by Chinese state-owned entities. As self-sufficiency expands, China requires fewer imports while exporting more product into global markets. China PET exports are expected to approach 6 million tons. PVC exports have surged. China's acetic acid, polypropylene, phenol, methanol, and numerous derivative chains are increasingly seeking overseas customers. This creates a fundamental challenge. Every ton that is no longer consumed domestically must find a buyer elsewhere. That means greater buying power in India, Southeast Asia, Europe, Africa, and Latin America. In effect, China's growth strategy has become existing producers' competitive challenge. Chapter 4. Trade policy is reshaping the map. As oversupply increased, governments responded. Tariffs, anti-dumping measures, and trade restrictions have become defining features of the global chemical market. The United States imposed tariffs affecting multiple chemical supply chains. The European Union expanded anti-dumping measures across several products, although too weak to prevent closures. India implemented duties on PVC imports. The impact has been profound. Trade routes have shifted. Arbitrage opportunities have narrowed. Exporters have been forced to seek new destinations, and uncertainty itself has become a market risk. Many buyers delayed purchasing decisions simply because they didn't know what tariff environment would exist a month later. Chapter 5. Europe is the biggest loser. No region illustrates the consequences of this transformation more clearly than Europe. European producers face a combination of high energy costs, weak domestic demand, strict regulation, and growing import competition. Operating rates have fallen to unsustainably low levels across many value chains. Producers are increasingly questioning whether commodity chemicals can remain globally competitive in Europe, and rightfully so. The numbers are striking. European phenol capacity alone is expected to decline by approximately 35% by the end of 2027. Multiple crackers, polymer units, and intermediate assets have already been closed, sold, or placed under review. What Europe is experiencing today represent the early stages of a broader industrial restructuring. Chapter 6. Margin compression is forcing change. Oversupply eventually shows up in one place: profitability. across numerous chemical chains, including phenol, acrylonitrile, styrene, melamine, titanium dioxide, polybutadiene rubber, polyethylene, polypropylene, and PVC. Producers have faced severe margin compression. In some markets, prices have approached or fallen below sustainable economic levels. Producers have responded by reducing operating rates, delaying investment, closing assets, and pursuing consolidation. Increasingly, management teams are asking a difficult question: which assets can realistically compete in a world of chronic oversupply? And what do we do with our existing uncompetitive assets? Chapter 7. Who wins? Despite the challenges, opportunities remain. India continues to emerge as one of the strongest sources of chemical demand growth. Infrastructure investments, manufacturing expansion, urbanization, and a growing middle-class support consumption across PVC, polypropylene, acetic acid, and many downstream products. Low-cost producers in the Middle East and North America retain significant feedstock advantages, and several specialty sectors continue to outperform the broader market. In a market defined by excess supply, cost leadership matters more than ever. Chapter 8. The Outlook. Looking ahead, the industry's path to recovery remains gradual. Demand is expected to improve, but capacity growth will continue to outpace demand growth through much of 2026. Global polyethylene oversupply is expected to intensify. Polypropylene markets remain long. If not for supply chain interruptions, methanol, phenol, PVC, and PET producers continue facing excess capacity challenges. As a result, a full recovery will likely require more than economic growth. It will require rationalization, more closures, more consolidation, more discipline on future investments, and ultimately, a better balance between supply and demand. The defining story of global chemical markets in 2025 and 2026 is not a collapse in demand. It is the collision between enormous new capacity and slower than expected consumption growth. The winners will be low-cost producers, disciplined operators, and companies positioned in the fastest-growing regions. The losers will be high-cost assets competing in oversupplied markets. The industry is not waiting for the next cycle. It is currently restructuring for the next decade. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.